welcome to Womanity on Zodiak Television. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Ruth Kulaisi, here again with another inspiring story. I love to hear people's stories and to help tell them, because I know that it always has an impact on someone that's actually listening, because most times we can relate and see ourselves in other people's stories. As others put it, if you are not in the midst of a storm, you are coming out of a storm, or you are about to enter one. So I'm going to be talking to a woman who has had her ups and downs, has had also the opportunity to live through a storm and come out on the other side stronger. And I'm talking from depression to debt to single parenting and so much more, and then coming out on the other end, and I'm sure right now probably living her best life. But we're going to hear more from her. Her name is Yami. Yami, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I do thank you for giving me the opportunity to have this conversation with you. So before we get into the gist of the depression and the debt and single parenting, co-parenting, and all those other cool things, let's first know who you are.
Okay. So, Mrs. Yami Matupa Phiri. Most would know me as Yami Matupa since I just got married recently.
Congratulations.
2 years. Thank you. It's
how long can we say congratulations for?
Well, 5 years. Because I still feel very new.
Yes.
So it's still, I'm still on that. I think this is still new. Yeah. So, I run Lilongwe Dance Company and Twitty Schools, I would say. So Twitty Schools has got a Lilongwe Dance Company, has got Alpha Nursery School. So we are running, Lilongwe Dance Company. At the moment, I think the one that's really working, it's the Lilongwe Dance program. So there we teach ballet, we do gymnastics. But originally it started off as Twitties. So Twitties, we were in nursery school. But then when I saw where the gap was, I felt like most schools don't have extracurricular activities. So when I started Twitties, I thought to bring in extracurricular activities like international schools, though affordable, something that all Malawians, a normal or a standard Malawian can afford, because most of the schools like Aminamaka with ballet or after school activities like keyboard, piano lessons or dance lessons, mostly are international schools that are very expensive for our, normal Malawians.
So the niche is to have what an international school would offer,
cheaper at a reasonable price.
Okay,
at a reasonable price. Yes. So that was the plan. So we're doing cooking classes, teaching keyboard, I would say piano lessons, dance classes. So we had all these things, but then the one that has really worked out has been ballet. I guess because no one else was doing it then. Now I've seen one or two people started coming out.
Ballet.
But actually one of them is one who has trained with us, and then she's teaching in different schools.
Fantastic.
But there was no one who was doing it then. So that's what has really worked out through the years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm excited for that. For the ballet, yes. And so as children or in yes. I used to try and imitate what I'm seeing.
Exactly.
My daughter loves to also try and do ballet, so it's good to know what someone's actually also offering something like that. Now, until COVID, obviously your school was already established by then.
Yes.
And I know that also when COVID came on, a lot of issues came up for a lot of business people.
Exactly.
Dance and whatnot. Obviously they're going to have to stay at home.
Of course.
What was the impact at that time for you, for your business and for you as a person?
To say it was tough is an understatement. Because I had stuff that I needed to pay. And how COVID came about, we didn't know it was going to last for a year or more than that.
Yeah.
And as a business person, sometimes we get a drama here, we get a drama there, knowing good, okay, say $1 million, I have got say 50, 60 students, they pay so much. It was calculated, like every month I would be able to pay this by 3 months. You borrow that, and then COVID, and then you close, and there is no money coming in from anywhere. Now, these people are still stressing you of the money that you have. The mistake that was made now was, okay, instead of facing it head on and say, okay, guys, I don't have money, business is tough. We didn't know how long it was going to take. So borrow somewhere else.
Yeah,
and
staying
then
hopeful. What does it take? So it was
yeah.
debt on
now
debt.
You borrow somewhere else. Could you thinking, surely sooner or later the world will open, and when we open monthly, we make enough money. I'll be able to clear this. A month turned to 2 months, to 3 months, to 4 months, to a year, and now it got extremely out of hand, and that is where the depression came in. Because now I had for 6 months I was still paying my staff. Now I had to exactly. So and to decide pamene popono it was now tamaliza all our savings. So I remember one time I had borrowed, I need money, then I had to let them go. Some understood, some went ahead and go to our severance pay. Where will I get severance pay? The school is closed.
And
so
time you 6 months, you are now
yeah, mostly yes. They were not. Yeah. We had to let go some, but then there were some who were like very, dear to the company, or we couldn't just, dispose of them, because then now we're like, muina digoliteguga bompa, and they decide say just yet, hopefully we're gonna be okay. And then that continued, and yeah, it got to a point of, guys, I can't do this anymore, and maybe tingosia guy. Dinasia guy, but then by the time Timasia guy, things was a mess. Everything was scattered. Was in very, very deep debt. Opening again, it wasn't really working, because now tigalandira whatever, there is someone akufuna ndama yake.
Yes.
Tigalandira whatever, there is someone. So the business was struggling. I was personally struggling. When my phone rings, my heart, I'm under pressure. How do you show up then for your business in such a scenario? When COVID was still around, we did try to have classes online over Zoom. So we had a few classes that Leslie was taking, and then these kids were, we would give them a link, and those who were still interested, they would do that. But as Malawians, we're not really good with the time manager, but also we're not good with online classes for kids, because that even schools that were trying to offer that, they didn't really do very well. It just doesn't feel like they're in a classroom. So we're not really, maybe we'll get there, but not at the moment. So imagine, dance is already a luxury. A parent is struggling themselves, they are struggling with money. They are zilipira for ballet, and then they need bundle. Exactly.
So the numbers were really
low. It was very few parents that were still engaging over Zoom. That the depression went on to a point of someone posted me on Facebook, on social media, Yamikani Matupa of Treaties and Precious Moments. Oh, I do decor as well. I won my money by pakoti and by pakoti. That just got me. Like, I remember getting phone calls, people calling me, sending me screenshots, because I wasn't on this group, Adibwalolo, Langongole or something. I was not a part of that. So normally, my nature, I'm a very calm person. I don't like provocative groups where they're bullying someone, and I don't really associate with that very well. So I didn't even know that group existed.
Yes.
So, people sending me these things, and I was like, wow, we've gotten to that. 2 days of bed, crying. Now I was like, I think there is nothing to live for. Paganandaka, humiliated to this point. But I have a son, I still need to push for my child. When that was posted, there were a lot of people, strangely, who were positive, like, oh, we know her. Maybe she's really going through stuff. From that, I got so many people who called. I don't know if you know of Nema Kaimira. She's a Mrs. now. She does nails, She's a friend, mostly my sister's friend. She called, like, Kodiyami, how much money is it? The one that I can remember, Panoba, just, on this interview is her. And she sent money. let me send you something, Mobange sort out Zmezos. And then there was another person who called me, do you remember me? I did your wedding decor. And you gave me a discount. How much do you owe this person? I told her. She sent me money. There was another, there were quite a lot of people. That money was paid the same day that she posted me. Not from me.
Same day?
Yes. The same day that she posted. So she came, and then my sister was like, I'm begging you, Ndrama ipezeka. You remove the post. No, I'll remove it when a payment is made. By the next morning, the payment was made. She removed the post, but the humiliation was still out there. The embarrassment, the shame was still out there. But guess what? After the crying 2 days later, I realized that now people know what I'm going through. Even the ones that I owed called me. Some of them called me like, we didn't know it was this bad, Yami. Do you want to tell me a payment plan? I was like, I can't tell you a payment plan now because schools haven't really opened, but I will work out on a payment plan and I will pay this. So currently I still have a payment plan with other people, but I've been understood that, okay, business happens and problems happen, debt happen, and it can happen to good people as well. So yeah, it was a lot, but that time I got love from my customers, the people that I look after their children. I remember one particular lady bought me groceries, left them at my gate, at Tweety's. She hooted and I went outside. There was no car, but there was a stack of groceries, from food to cleaning products. The note was, thank you for all you do for my child. I've never known who that person is, and if you're listening to this, thank you very much. That made me happy. But it also really made me realize that it's good to be good to people. You lose nothing. At a certain point, they save you. So after that episode, I gathered all my strength to write back on this group. I explained my situation. Like, okay, things are bad right now, but things are going to get better. And this shame, God is going to use it for my good.
Man, you know what? I think you've given me true insight as to what entrepreneurs
go through
went through during COVID, and also impact yake panopo.
Yes.
If you're saying that there's still a payment plan that you're on, and to it's been a year, 2 years now, and we've been back to normal.
Yes.
You're still looking at paying off my data. Maybe you accumulate entire COVID before now the business in
exactly.
There would be who are still facing that mixed devaluation.
Yes. There are so many. Actually, that time I had, there was even a group created, like people asking me, like, how are you doing this? I was like, dude, I'm not doing it. I'm still depressed. Ndio win and longo so yankali yako in magulita ma groceries. Nani so I got in debt na bweleka ndrama kuti ndikagula zinthu ku Zambia, and then the world closed. Now I had katundu, but I'm not selling anyway. And mwini wako andrama kundivutisa mpaka wazasesa the whole grocery store. People went through stuff, and I thank God could I still have both parents. I have a very good support system. My parents are still here with us, so I thank God for them. I have a sister, I have a brother, I have my now husband. We were dating then, and this man, oh my God, he's so brave. Because the way things were thrown at me at the time, if he didn't really love me, he could have gone. And actually, this lady was like, So support system was really strong. But imagine those who do not have such support system. Those who didn't have anywhere, I'll go back home. Because at that point, I remember my dad was like, whatever you're going through, don't get to a point of not having food. Let us know. If it's so bad, you can always come back home. And that's the beauty.
I love that. I love that.
That's the beauty of it. My parents have always been, caring and supportive. Even this thing, imagine someone going to UK university, come back and say, I want to dance. I want to teach dance.
Really?
Go to work. Go to work. But they were very supportive. Even though they didn't understand it, they supported it. So yes, that was my depression mode. And then when I wrote about it, I realized that I felt better.
What does depression look like? Different has depression and to a mamva with depression. What
happens?
Like, zimatani,
it's not always that umangolida. Sometimes you put up a face. Like I'm saying, for the longest, people didn't know I was depressed. I had suicidal thoughts, but I have a child that when I felt like mina ndingo fat, because the humiliation was too much, I would look at my child and be like, no, you have to keep fighting. You know, there were days that I felt like that. There were days that I feel like maybe I should just end it and maybe take my son with me. But is it fair for my child? It gets bad.
That's a dark place.
It's a very dark place. And then I had no car. At the time we had sold one car. The other car, Angongola na Bwela Kuzalanda, that's a story for another day. There was, the bouncers actually, Jojo, they came to my house around 6 a.m. Tukuzatenga gali moto. My son, that time we wanted to drop him to school, anatilanda gali moto. Mwana akuoneka kuti, so shaken.
Yes.
And I had to, I tried to explain to him, no, it's going to the garage. But I'm sure
the truth, I mean,
he's still not sure. What really happened?
And that's the thing about even the vibes, the vibrations.
Yeah.
And the reality of it. For the they can sense the
Something
reality,
is
the
wrong.
Truth.
Ruth, it was so bad. There was another team that came in and took a TV. Luckily, our TV had that streak as a swake up in a so it had a certain line. So I told him, these are they're going to go fix it. Up to date, my son asks me, Mom, is that TV not done yet?
Wow.
And it breaks my heart because at least he bought that because of that issue. But I'm at that point where I just want to buy a TV and be like, because I was a single mom for 8 years and my son, we're very connected. I know every mom is connected to their child, but mine was born at 6 months. So I was doing kangaroo for a long time. So he's always been that, mama's boy. But I would love to get that TV and say, anaikonza finally, because there is something in him that still, wonders. So back to your question, depression can show up as a happy person, someone who's still smiling, but having suicidal thoughts. Depression can show up as someone who is pretending, you'd come to work, still smile, laugh with people, with colleagues and whatnot, but go back home and cry and feel like, I just want to die. Depression can come in as someone who's just sleeping. So for a long time, I was still showing up. But after this post, and I felt like I can't face the world anymore. I was ashamed. I couldn't come out and face the world anymore. Depression can come up as someone who just cries. Like I just meet you and just be like, "Hi, Yami, are you okay?" And you start crying. So it comes in. Exactly. Yes. But went through that, and after being posted, I went and wrote back, and that kind of gave me my voice again. I started talking about it because sometimes as entrepreneurs and things are going well, you feel like you can't really share good you're struggling. But at that point, she had shared good I'm struggling. So I might as well. So I started talking about my story a lot more, and it was what healed me.
Wow.
The more I talked about it, the better I felt.
Yes.
The more I accepted good I messed up. Because again, that's another issue. When you're going through depression and healing, you need to accept you're part of the mess. It wasn't the girl who posted me, okay? Yes, she fueled it up, but where did I go wrong? Where I went wrong was borrowing, and then borrowing to cover that one, and then borrowing to cover that one. And that was my mistake. And I take, responsibility of that. Once you get to a point of accepting, this was a mistake. I messed up. You start healing. You start forgiving yourself. You stop making excuses why people did what they did to you. Yeah.
Wow. Whew.
Yeah.
Okay. That's real life.
It is.
What we just talked about right now, that is real life.
Real
and
life.
Things that are happening,
oh yeah,
and real challenges that people are facing on a day-to-day.
Exactly.
We're going to take a bit of a short break. When we return, we're going to wrap things up with how she is overcoming, and that is the debt, especially Mama Ganzangam business. And not only that, we'll also finalize with ballet. Would the winner woman and I get mufuna the mono the mudan bamenebo. So yes, stick around. You're watching Womanity. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, Womanity is the name of the program. We're talking real life. Man, I didn't expect it to be as real and raw as it has been. Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your transparency. How are you dealing now with the debt? How are you navigating it? Are you now speaking to financial advisors to help? Are you now banking and getting loans from a bank?
Never
or
again.
to cover the holes?
Okay, so I managed to make a payment plan with pretty much everyone that I owed. After the post, Aliese reached out and I braved up to meet each and everyone and talk about how are we going to fix this.
Yes.
There are some that what it was a silent agreement. Maybe they're just waiting for me to be like, okay, allow her to sort things out. She'll get round to us. And I appreciate such friends. I appreciate such family. There was a time you could get yanga ikamveka kuti kusegula. I would be so scared. I had depression, I had anxiety.
Yes.
So even when my phone rang, but till now I can't have my phone on loud. It's always on silent. Then I have to tend to it when I can tend to it. Because it still left me with anxiety, trauma and anxiety. When it rings, my heart still jumps. Even though I'm not running. When I hear the gate opening, my heart still jumps. Because that time it was so dark that getting a school, I would be like, who is that? Akufuna nditukwane no pano ndindani. And Ruth, people can tukwana. People. So yes, I'm not borrowing anymore. Not a bank. Not people. I would rather we sleep on tea or pala, but I'm never borrowing again.
I see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's there. Whatever money that I make, I'm trying to soak it away everywhere. But luckily, I've been given that space. It's not so bad. Mpakana ndia fuel. Managed to get the car back. So now we're driving again. We are no longer on Ekabaza. But yes, it got to a point of going to work on Ekabaza. Before the post, I was ashamed to kapa Kabaza and mava hoodie. But after
I would, the area.
Yes, I would even take selfies on Ekabaza. So this lady,
she freed you.
She freed me, and I feel like that's how you heal. You need to be honest.
Yes.
About your situation, accept your situation, because we're not down forever.
No.
The sun shines.
Yes.
It's always better next time. We just have to keep trying.
My theory is always, if you are 100% open and honest, you will receive 100% assistance.
Exactly.
Because ungakhaso ukuthi ukubisa sopena bamene bakwawa. Sungathandizidwe nangase oradokotara kudzona
but no.
You must say ukuthi balivuto ndi ababa, and this is the extent of the pain so that people are able to help. So I'm glad that people had an idea now to really come in and assist where they could.
Yeah.
But now going back to ballet,
yes.
Let me quickly ask what inspired you as personally, not just to offer a high level international service, but what made you look at ballet and say, I like this?
Yeah. So growing up, like you said, we watched Angelina the ballerina. It was always something that I was like, wow. So as a kid, I loved to dance. But traditionally, we do kwasa, we do ndomboro, we do kwaito and whatnot. And I was a good dancer in my family. My grandfather used to amandi super, like I would dance and amandi, So akama the super, the man in Degra, I would dance even more. Yeah. So I'm not a rich kid. I went to government schools. I'm from a middle class family, setting, but I am a loved kid. So because our family is so united, I often get mistaken with a lot of people. But maybe I'm a high school kid or. No,
But it's all the love that...
It's the love that I got.
It ding-donged you.
Yes, it did. It definitely did. So with that, watching Angelina ballerina, I was now in England looking after this kid that I was taking to ballet.
Yes.
Every single day we were going for ballet classes. So I would be there and watching Kumasirila. This is nice. when I go back home, I want to do something like this.
How old is the youngest kid that you're training here in Malawi?
2.5.
2.5?
2.5, yes.
How old do they start? Can they start younger?
No, we start at 3, but
Okay.
this 2.5 is very stable. She's so into it, and we were like, okay, we'll just assess her, and
Yes.
she's doing very well. So we took her on, but our classes starts from 3 to 18.
So what's the point of doing ballet in Malawi?
Okay.
Do you think it's something that can actually, and the level that you're doing it
Yeah.
at, are you doing it because the kids want to do it? Because they do.
They do.
I know they do.
They do.
Timagura is over at a ballet.
Timatutu.
Oh, just
Just good as zungulira in the house.
Kuyumba.
Yeah.
What's the point? Do you think that there's actually something that can come from it?
Yes, there is. Apart from getting my scholarships going outside of the country, there is discipline. Ballet is not just dance. When you watch it or when you follow it, it's a dance that follows strict positions. You have to put your feet a certain way. You have to stand a certain way. So that teaches them good posture and discipline and following, making sure they are on top of things and they are smart. Hair is up, tidy at all times. So ballet not only teaches you to dance, but it does teach you good manners and discipline. That's the first. Secondly, we have a program, like I mentioned, I started this with Leslie Berman. After COVID, she went back to her country. She's American. While there, I'm abuela once a year to train our teachers now. We call it train the trainers.
Okay.
She will come for 2-3 months training our teachers, for the teachers to train the students.
So you're training children, you're training trainers.
Trainers, yes.
And now we're actually increasing in number
Yes,
when
yes.
it comes to the professionals around ballet in Malawi.
Yes.
Okay.
So the goal was also to train Malawian based, and I work mostly with girls ogudi anapunzira to form 4, but then the family couldn't manage to take them to university. So do they love to dance? Yes. Are you willing to learn ballet? Yes. Then we train those ones intensively for them to train the little ones.
So you have, as you've said, there's opportunities for scholarships to go
yes.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's good for manners and etiquette and
Yes.
all of that.
Yeah.
What of gymnastics? I think in Taoya Region 5 Games, we
Yeah.
saw Wunena Wudi Africa is looking to enter that space.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there was a gap for Malawi.
Yes.
How intense, how serious is the gymnastics training?
Gymnastics is very serious. We started last year, but I would not say we are there yet where ballet is.
Yes.
So ballet, we've been around for 8 years. Gymnastics, only since last year. So we are very serious. We are still building the program, we know, since we only started last year. But the goal is to make sure the next Region 5, we can attend it and then we're good at it.
Yes.
But yeah, it's going very well.
I understand that there's a documentary that's also
Yes,
coming out.
yes,
When
yes.
is it going to be out?
On the 3rd of May,
Is it going to be out on Malawian platforms or in international?
international, and then we'll share it on Malawian platforms as well. Yes.
Fantastic.
On that one, our student who got a scholarship, she's in the US right now. She's featured on that. In
A scholarship through the ballet.
ballet.
Hey.
Now she's in university now.
Wow.
We have 3 9-year-olds that are going in summer for ballet intensive classes. So there is a possibility. There is opportunities. Yeah.
Yes.
3 kids are going to the USA in summer, on summer break for
Waku ballet.
yes.
Nane ndubwera ku ballet. You know, you'd never know where the opportunities
Yes,
are found.
yes,
So
yes.
I'm happy that there's such
There is.
opportunities
There
for
is.
our young Malawians.
Yes,
And
there
I think indeed, Jaga Jamawa, but
Yeah.
the Region 5,
Yes. we're geared to do that.
Oh man, Yami, I thank you for coming in, for enlightening us. I
Yeah.
think in Taizambi we are living under a rope, or at least we're just focusing on our own lives
Yeah.
and not knowing Kunena Uranzatu are still fixing things and they're still recovering
From
even
COVID.
from COVID
Yeah.
to this day. I wish you well.
Thank you
I
very
wish you
much.
all the success.
Thank you very
And
much.
I thank you for your story and your candid this morning.
Thank you.
To everyone at home, do stick around, keep it Zodiac, and I'm hoping that you are also encouraged today that there is a way to get onto the other end. My name is Ruth Kulaisi. I'll see you soon.